Hello, hello, welcome. I'm super excited to have you guys on board today on our Tuesday afternoon, wherever you may be. I know we have people in Dallas, we have people in Florida, and people all over the world, whether you're watching this live now or you're watching it on a recording somewhere on a website or on YouTube, wherever it may be. Again, my name is Melanie Levitz, and I am in the beautiful, amazing Florida, staring at the beautiful ocean as I speak to you. And before I forget, I always like to remind people to make sure that you grab a pen, highlighter, and paper, because there's a lot of great notes that I'm going to give you, and I have my own as well. So a few guests that we have coming on will be sharing. I will personally be taking notes myself, but today we're going to talk about distractions and how we're bombarded with them all over the place. But before I get into that, I definitely would love to have a special guest who is doing amazing things within her organization and all around amazing individual in athletic, in beauty. She's smart. She is actually traveling right now to a meeting herself to present an amazing opportunity to amazing people all over the world. But without further ado, the most amazing, there she is. Beautiful. Let me unmute you since you're driving. Jade Valentini. Again, she used to be in the fitness industry. Oh, she didn't. Okay, there we go. And now she's involved in many different avenues. But Jade, you know, as an entrepreneur yourself, and as a, you know, a significantly impressive woman, you know, for me to, you know, have you on our organization and to be able to be blessed with your knowledge, you know, I've learned so much from you. But, you know, as you're driving safely, tell us a little bit about, you know, where you come from, what you do, and I'd like to hop in after that. You know, what kind of distractions have come into your business and how you've been able to avoid them?
Well, Melanie, first of all, thank you for having me on today. It's always a privilege to be able to share these moments with you and with the team and with everybody who's hungry enough to be on a call like this to learn what it takes to really go out and build the business of your dreams. And so I'm originally from France, and I've been with World Ventures now for almost 5 years. And I come from the business background. I had my degree in business. I owned a gym up in Jupiter and was in the fitness industry in my early 20s. And then I even went to corporate America, had a job, and tried that side of the world just to understand what it is, right? And so I come from both sides, and I can understand how both mentalities work. And both ways of thinking are great. But in World Ventures, you really have to adopt a business owner mindset if it is your goal to build this as a second plan or as your first plan to financial freedom. So when I first got started in World Ventures, I was very ready for something new. I had owned a business with high overhead, high stress, and the business was running me. I didn't like that feeling. When I got sick for a little while, my income took a dramatic hit, and I realized that I was a prisoner of my successful business. And so I moved into a job, and I wasn't happy. So the person who showed me World Ventures, he said, check this out, you might like it, and I did. 3 weeks after I joined, there was an event in Dallas, and I invested about $800 at the time to go. And I didn't have the money. I didn't want to spend the money to go there. But I knew that if I didn't go, I would allow for every naysayers that was around me to pull me away from the ability to build this. And so the first way to stay away from distractions is to commit to going to the events, because the events plug us in to the fire and the vision of our company, so that we understand, well, it's happening for everybody else, and the product is the same for everyone else. The training is the same for everyone else. The only thing that changes is us. We are the variable. And so we need to work on ourselves in order to become better leaders, in order to create the results that we want to create. So, you know, going to an event every single time over the last 4.5 years that I fell down on my luck, or I let things, distract me. And we all have it. My parents, when I first got started, were like, absolutely do not do this. My mom went and, she did a whole bunch of research on the history and printed all these papers out. And she's like, oh my gosh, people say it's a scam, And then my father was more like, sweetheart, you're terrible in sales. You've never done sales before. Don't go down that path. It's very hard. So he wasn't so much about the scam. He was just more like, it's not in your personality. And my sister, who's a cop, didn't want to join because pretty much she didn't support anything that I had done in the past. So, if I had gotten stuck on what my family thought, I wouldn't be here today. And my 1,000 friends and followers that have joined myself and other leaders wouldn't be here today because I would have let my family distract me. And then after that, I knew a lot of successful people, and some of them said yes right away. They saw it, and then other people, the typical excuses, I don't have time, or in my case, with some friends, they had too much money, and they're like, we don't want to do anything else. And so it tends to take a toll unless you know exactly where you're going, and you put your heart and your head in the commitment, and you say, you know what, no matter what, I have my blinders on, and I am committed, married to my decision, because no one else is going to pay your bills. No one else is going to build this business for you. You can have the best upline in the world or the best downline in the world, but if you're not willing to say, I'm committed, I'm going to lead this business with my productivity, then nothing else is going to fall into place because you're not showing up every day. So my biggest advice is to always stay plugged in to the team, to the events, to the travel parties, even when you're not feeling like it. And sometimes, if you need to take a 2-day break, take that 2-day break. Relax, unplug for a couple of days. Not any longer. Don't be like, I need a deep plug for 6 months, because chances are you're not coming back. It's like saying you're going to go for a run. If you want to try to run a marathon, you're going to train to run longer races. Every time you stop and you have to start running again, the effort of building that momentum up is the part that takes the most energy. Because once momentum is going and it's moving and it's moving and it's moving and it's fun and it's exciting and people are building off that, it doesn't want to stop. But when you stop, it stops. So don't stop. All right. I can't hear you, Mel.
I was so much involved in your conversation. It's like, thank you so much. Wow. You're absolutely right. And once you gain that momentum and you stop, it's harder to get back into it because you lost. I wanted to say thrust, but it's not the thrust.
The momentum.
The word you used?
The momentum?
Momentum, yes.
There you go. The event we're having in a couple of weeks.
Yes, exactly. Yes, if you don't have your tickets to that event, make sure you go to wveventreg.com and grab your tickets. We're all going to be in Birmingham, January 25th weekend. And Jay, thank you so much for your time, for your leadership. Always leading by in the front and by example. We appreciate you and everything that you do. Awesome. So I always love to bring on a special guest and have them share. We have a few more people hopping on. We're just going to get you guys so you can share your cameras. And if you happen to have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And again, our topic today is distractions. So I wrote down several notes that, there's so many things that are distracting us in our lives today. And what I found most distracting is ourselves, right? And we tend to become lazy, or we tend to become tired, and it's really because of what we're doing and what is surrounding us. So as we continue to have these meetings and they continue to help you move towards your goals and help you excel in whatever areas that you want to excel in, then it's just a matter of you saying, you know what, I need to go pick up that video. You know what, I need to go pick up that audio, or I need to go be around the people that are winning in life, to be around that environment to uplift yourself and push you forward. Because, you know, even myself, just this morning, I was distracted by, you know, my feet condition. You know, I really worked hard in the gym doing Zumba yesterday, and then today I felt it. So my distraction was my feet, and it caused me to be, you know, not as motivated this morning as I usually am. And what did I do? You know, I just took a break. I went and enjoyed the quietness and peace of walking my dog in the neighborhood. And then I came back home and I was jumping back into sway of things. So, you know, a lot of times we have a huge distraction because a lot of us are not our own bosses. We don't get to say and choose what we do. So you might have the distraction of work, or if you have the distraction of, you know, being an entrepreneur, and you have other things that are pulling at you, such as investments and you know, all different things that you put your money in, whether it's, you know, real estate or insurance or, you know, stocks or whatever it may be. These are distractions from your main goal. So I like to set myself in a schedule. And at the end of this, I'm really going to share with you how my schedule plays out. So first, we're going to talk about, you know, how to manage your work. Then we're going to go into your social life and also into family. So again, if you haven't done so already, grab a paper, pad, pen, highlighter, and make sure that you're taking some valuable notes. Obviously, if you're driving, then watch this recording later on. So as we said, you know, work, you know, when I first heard of the word entrepreneur and network marketing, I had a job. I was active duty in the military, and I was working, you know, a normal to a little crazy shifts in the aviation world. And what I would do is I would wake up in the morning. Certain days we would have physical training. We'd have to get up earlier and go, you know, unit training together, physical training, PT is what they called it, together as a group, and then we could do it on our own. Or you may have to do it on your own, period, or you may not be required to do it. Whatever the case, make sure that you schedule what is most important. So if you have, you know, a job that you're working 8 to 5, obviously that is your number one source of income. We don't want you to stop doing what you're doing. We want you to just be more organized and self-managed with your life. And we're going to teach you how to block out the distractions. So the first thing on your calendar would be your main source of income of your hours. So if it's Monday through Friday, you work 8 to 5, then awesome. Write those dates down, write those times down, because that is not negotiable time until a later day, a year from today, you know, when you committed more to your goals and blocked out the distractions. A year from today, you may be able to say, you know what, I don't need to work that full-time job. I can work part-time now and put more time towards my family, towards, you know, my investments or business that you are choosing to do. So with that, you know, again, make sure you write that down and know that for now, that is what you just have to accept, right? And we're going to work around what times you do have. Number 2, what are the things that you're doing in your social life? You know, are you watching the news? Are you listening to the radio on the way home and to work when you're picking up your kids? There's TV shows. You know, my family, I asked them, I was like, well, you know, how much time can I get of yours this week? You know, and they're like, well, I have this show and I have that show, and it's all awesome shows, and it's about, you know, I used to watch them, but I quickly learned that my time is more valuable in other places. So what I realized is, you know, other people's lives on television are not as important as my own. And versus me watching them be on dates and on the beach around the world in different locations, why not just go there myself? And, you know, and I've been blessed to be able to do that. And it's because I decided that 8.5 years ago, I was going to cut my cable. You know, it used to be I would record my shows, Devo, and watch them later. But then it just became less important to me as I continued to grow in self-development and also in understanding entrepreneurship. But it really boiled down to what I enjoyed most. You know, if there's a show that you enjoy most, then cool, continue to watch that show. Just know that it's going to take a certain amount of hours out of your life. And if it's important, if it's that important to you, then I'm no one to say that you should not watch these shows. So my family watches 6 hours a week of television. That's what they enjoy doing. That's great. For me, I barely even turn on my TV. I only turn it on to share this amazing concept of the travel industry with my friends and family, to be honest. But really, like even with the news, I don't pay attention to the news. If something is important enough, it is brought to my attention through Facebook, through social media, through friends and family. My family knows I don't watch the news, so if they actually now are aware to inform me if there's anything important, and it's great, and it's like, wow, you may feel unplugged at times, especially when you have team members out in Alaska and you didn't even know that there were earthquakes going on, or you have family in Mexico, and there was floods or whatever the case may be. And again, if it's important enough, it's going to be brought to your attention. And if you're the type of person, well, I just have to have the news, cool. You can find the news in other sources. It doesn't have to be through the television. It could be through a pod on your phone. Right now, I'm still trying to figure out how to connect my calendar to my Alexa so she can tell me what's most important in the news in the world today. For now, we're still working on the weather, which is awesome. Alexa, what's the weather like today? It's 68 degrees today. So now I know what type of clothes to wear. A little bit of longer sleeves because it's a little more chilly for us Floridians out here. 62 is pretty cold. So, again, whatever is important to you, I'm not here to tell you that you shouldn't and you should change and do it this way. I'm here to advise you and recommend that what is important to you, and you'll be able to figure out the priorities of your time management and self-management in your days. So then you can focus more on the things that are most important to you every single day, especially if it's, towards a goal that you're looking to achieve, in 2019. So with work and social life, especially your cell phone, a huge distraction. I have my screen now, and I think this is really, really awesome that your smartphone will tell you how often you've been on your phone throughout the whole week. And it shows you the breakdowns between social media, through productivity, through, health, whatever it is that you have on your phone. And it allows me to understand, okay, I understand that I have an addiction to my phone because I pick it up every 8 minutes. And my excuse is that our team is really in momentum right now. We just hit, significant levels in the company. Amazing couple currently in Africa. JC and Leonie Aruzin just hit the level of marketing director. Huge, actually, on Jay Valentini's team. So amazing things going on. And it's because, not only are they in momentum, but their team is in momentum. And when you create an environment of people to be able to be excited about something in common, you'll excel in that area and push through momentum. So the phone, I've been constantly on my phone because of the momentum that our team is going through. But I have some notes here, and I've realized that I have an addiction to my phone, and it's equivalent to a chain smoker. And it's because I pick it up every 8 minutes to see a message, to see the weather, to see, what's going on in anything and everything, because my phone has access to everything, right? But they say that every time you pick up your phone, you're eliminating, it's 25 times distraction, because what you're doing is you take the time that you pick it up and however long you're on it, and you times that by 23 minutes and 15 seconds, it equals your total distraction. So here's how it works. In order for your mind to get back focused right now with me, as you're seeing me speak with my red nails, red lips, I'm going in red lately, my red top, and you're hearing me, and you can focus in on what I'm saying and not be distracted by the sounds outside, by your dog barking, by your kids yelling, you know, your spouse telling you something, but most importantly, your phone. Because every time you go back to your phone, if you were to pick it up right now and see a message, and then all of a sudden some notification pops up about someone's birthday, or you know, you got a message on a social media platform, or you missed a call, or you know, you got email coming in, these are all distractions that can take you from what you meant to do was just text, you know, someone a message. And then 5 things flashed at you all at once, and now you're back into your phone and you're there and we lost you. And then you realize, oh shoot, I'm on this, you know, training study hall with Melanie, and I should be listening and being focused. And you come back to us, and it takes you 23 minutes and 15 seconds to get back into the mindset that you were in when we started. Isn't that crazy? So they call that the 25 times destruction. So every time you pick up your phone, I always think it's another 25 minutes for me to get back into my state of being. And this is where we can really start creating for our lives and for our future, and helping us, you know, inspire ourselves to go and get our things that are most important on our schedule done for that day. So in the beginning of the day, you know, definitely pick out 3 things. Again, I'm going to talk to you on the schedule at the end of this, and really just understand that, you know, they say that 82% of people have their phone within eye distance throughout the entire day. So mine is right there. Where's yours, right? And, you know, every time we hear that chime, that tone, that beep, that ring, it's a distraction in our lives. So if you're able to put your phone away or leave it in the car, or put it in your purse when you're eating, you know, with friends and family, do that, because then you can really focus in on each other and create that connection, and, you know, continue to bring people back together. So I hope that helps you with your phone. And, you know, another distraction as far as your social environment is your friends. You know, who are you hanging out with? Are you, you know, talking to Selena on a weekly basis out in Dallas, or your team members, you know, who just called out in LA or in Canada and in Europe? You know, who are you surrounding with? What are your friends doing? You know, I just got off the phone with, you know, the beautiful Megan Santos in Dallas. You know, she's a singer, and her husband is very successful in network marketing. And, you know, I'm asking her, what are her secrets for, you know, in life? What does she use? I'm really looking for more stuff for my face. And it's great to be able to have connections with people to understand that, you know, their ideas are working for them, and whatever it is they're doing, why not try what they're doing? And I continue to surround myself with people that are always inspired to achieve more. They're you know, a lot of my energy is very spontaneous, so I enjoy hanging out with people that are spontaneous and adventurous, and people that are just full of positive energy and uplifting one another. And when you're around that, again, around that environment, you're not being distracted by the negative things that, you know, society can bring to us. So that is a huge, huge area of social, and there's so much more to talk about. But I want to move forward to another important area in our lives, and that's our family. You know, our family can be a huge, huge distraction. And, you know, at times we want to, you know, upbring them and lift them and bring them where we're at in life and help them. But you know, you got to sit down with them and have these conversations and find out what is important in their lives. What is it that they want to do? And, you know, what can you contribute to them? And obviously they can contribute to you. And, you know, at times in my business, I had to sit down with family members and say, look, you know, if you don't like what I'm doing, that's cool, but I'm going to continue to do this. And if you continue to talk bad about what I do, then I won't show up here anymore. And that was, you know, that was the laying down factor of the beginning of my business with certain members of my family that I had to express to them, because it was really, they were really bringing me to a place of lost hope and lost dreams. And that's not where I wanted to be. And thank goodness I had that conversation with them, because it was the last time we ever talked about it. And it's great to know that I don't have that, hanging over my shoulder when I walk through their door. Or, if you have spouses that may not understand what you're doing, and, again, sit down with them, and let them know. Or even if you have family that, family is important. I've been learning myself to schedule family time in my calendar, to go and play golf with my dad, who's now retired, to go spend time with my grandfather, who has, dementia. And, if anyone out there understands that it's new to our family, and we're trying to discover it, ourselves, and with any information that we can receive would be greatly appreciated. And it's not an easy thing, but that's life. And I know that others out there are, either taking care of their children or taking care of their spouse, and you may be the sole provider. So family is very important, and I'm not telling you to eliminate them. I'm telling you to schedule time with them and have undistracted time. Leave your phone at home, leave your phone in the car, and just be with them and connect and bring value to each other. I'm super excited to be heading out to Destin to visit my siblings out there, but I already have commitments in my phone with other people in that area to sit down with as well, and bring value to their lives. So again, I'm not saying, to not visit your in-laws and not spend time with them, but make sure that they know where you're going and what you're doing in life. And, you walk in and say, hey, I only have an hour to spend here, or, hey, I'm super excited to have this lunch with you, or go to dinner or cook dinner, and make sure it's their time. And that's, not time that you're being distracted with anything else. So remember, we all get 24 hours in a day, and it's just about self-managing our time and being more responsible with it, and allowing our top 3 priorities to be at the top of the list, and utilizing a schedule, which we're going to talk to you about now. See, what I've come to realize as an entrepreneur is that my time is truly, truly valuable. I value my time higher than money, because it's really all that we have. Without everything else, it's just us and time. And what I've come to realize is that we just never know, when our last day is, and how we can truly impact each other with this, just even a few minutes, if you were able to hop on and watch, this and gain something from it. But I will tell you that becoming an entrepreneur, I've had to learn how to become more sufficient with my time. Being in the military, having that experience, I served 12 years active duty, and the last 7 now have been in the reserves. I've been able to understand time management a lot more maybe than some who have not served in the military, because we are told to get up at certain times, work at certain times, eat at certain times, be with family at certain times, and when we could take vacations at certain times. And I've really gained to understand that perspective, that humans need a schedule. And if you think about it, I was watching the birds fly in V south, right? Maybe they're coming from the north, because it's that time of season that they do that. So everything is in schedule, and it's just a matter of you deciding on what is going to go on your schedule. And this will allow you to block out the distractions, to eliminate the things that are not important in your life. And when you are more organized with your time, you'll be able to see the more value that is coming out of it, and understanding that we can control our time with what we put in it. So my very first moments of waking up are, yes, grabbing my phone, seeing what time it is. I've been lately waking up at 6 a.m. between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. and going to sleep between 10 and 12. And it's been an amazing feeling. They say multimillionaires wake up at 4 a.m. and are asleep by 10. And you really understand that your body just needs about 7 and 8 hours, and you can manage on 4 to 6. So a lot of people tend to oversleep, and that is a huge distraction. And I feel like it's a way for people to escape and to try to, pass through life on the easy path, right? But what I like to do is, one, I have a Bible study plan in the Bible app that I read every day, and I'm on a 38-day streak. And I'll tell you, they say that it takes 21 days to create a habit. So I'm doing pretty well, and it feels great that the app reminds me and shows me that, you know, I'm on track and I'm on my calendar, and I'm staying consistent. And what I also do is I also like to use this app called the 5-Minute Journal. And I have never, ever been a journalist. But here, you can see, let me close it again so you can see the app, what it looks like. The 5-Minute Journal. So this is my daily task folder, and this is where I keep it at the bottom of my phone. So, you know, my Bible app is right there, and my daily task is right here. So I have my calendar, I have Duolingo, and I have the 5-Minute Journal. There's also podcasts and audibles and things that I listen to, my water intake. So things that I do on a daily basis. So here's the 5-Minute Journal, and I'll tell you that it's really allowed me to stay, you know, within 5 minutes of my morning, to track on how my day was yesterday and to plan out my day for today, and just put in there the top 3 things that I want to accomplish. And, you know, there's some days that I don't, and there's some days that I'll continue to move it forward. And if you ask, you know, my assistant, she'll see on the calendar that the same task has been moved forward for about a week. And then I realize, okay, you know, Melanie, how much longer are you going to move it forward? You know, get it done already. And, you know, I commit to getting it done, and then I finally get it done. So, you know, it's an everyday battle with ourselves, right? But if you can create a schedule and stay on top of it, it will allow you to have a better time management. So what I like to do is also utilize the phone, as you saw, for podcasts and listening to you know, audios and listening to videos that will continue to enhance my lifestyle and allow me to gain the knowledge that will provide me what I want to accomplish in the future. If you saw my last study hall last week, if you haven't, go check it out on YouTube or my website, melaniellevitz.com. And you'll see that we talked about the 3 brains. And some of you were on there. You remember that, you know, our first brain is our robotic brain. So now, you know, my robotic brain has been, you know, taught and is now accustomed to read my Bible every morning and to journal every morning and to listen to a podcast as I get ready. So, and that's what has become my daily habit. And now it has stayed in my robotic brain because it is a consistent behavior that I've been able to create in the last few years. And your robotic brain may be that as well, or it may be, you know, when you drive to work, and you're driving and you're doing other things while you're driving, and you shouldn't be, but then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm at work already, because your robotic brain has gone there so many times and repeated it so many times that it's automatic. You know, some of you may have not ridden a bicycle in the last 10 years, but if you got on a bicycle today, you know how to ride it because your automatic brain, your robotic brain remembers that. And then again, we have I talked about the monkey brain that's shares 5% of your other brain, which is the omega brain, and your monkey brain is the little distractions that we get, you know, sidetracked by. So go watch those videos because it's really valuable to understand how to feed the omega brain. That is where we are driven to achieve more and to achieve the great things that we want. But it's just a matter of learning how to create that drive and creating it to become a habit. So now you're automatically doing the things that you want to do, and you created that habit for your robotic brain to automatically put it in function. So again, 21 days to create a habit. So continue to do that. For me, the rest of my schedule, my calendar looks like, you know, in the morning, I like to get everything done. So I wake up around 6, I study my Spanish, I do my journal, I organize my calendar, and I get all the daily, you know, tasks. You know, I still have mail. I need to put that on my calendar. Mail to check that has been sitting there for a little bit. And it's just because I was out of town for so long. So now I'm back, and that's what's on my calendar. And, you know, I incorporate my family, and I incorporate God, you know, going to church, and I have Bible studies on Wednesdays, you know, and that's it. And it's just a matter of, you know, sticking to your schedule, your daily schedule on what is really, truly valuable and important to you. And for me, you know, it's God, it's family, it's business, it's my health, you know, and for everybody, it should be you first before anyone else. You know, just like on the airlines, they say, put on your gas mask first before applying it, helping others. Because, you know, if you're helping others and you don't put on yours first, and then all of a sudden you figure out that, you know, oh shoot, their mask is stuck somehow and you can't fix it, and then next thing you know, you're running out of breath, and then you got to put on yours, and then, you know, you go back to them, and who knows what could happen. Versus just putting on yours first, you're good to go. You're taking care of yourself. You know what has to be done, you know, tomorrow on Wednesday, or this evening on a Tuesday, and you get it done. And then you're able to help others and provide more value, you know, as I am with you, and continue to do. And that has become what I enjoy doing. And it's absolutely, truly a blessing. So I challenge you this week, one, to go watch the previous week on the Three Brains. It's an awesome event, study hall, that you'll truly enjoy. And two, I challenge you to not multitask. So if you happen to be on the phone and you're speaking to a friend or a family member, and you know, you get a text message, or you get a notification on social media, or you get an email pop up, don't check it. Just be there on the phone with your friend. So eliminate the distractions. Do not multitask. And I challenge you for this week alone, by next Tuesday, to accomplish that. And we will do this again next Tuesday, I believe. Let me check my calendar. We changed the time to 2 o'clock. Yes. So next Tuesday will not be 1 p.m. Eastern. It will be 2 p.m. Eastern. We will have special guest Russell Kovorks. I'm not sure how to say his last name. We will get that. I will look it up and understand how to say it for next week. But he's out in Washington doing amazing things. Has a beautiful wife, Erica, and we are going to talk to you about edification. And if you're not sure what that word is, it's okay. I never knew what it meant either, but it simply means taking two people and introducing them properly. And that term is called edification. So stay tuned for next week. Have an amazing day, everybody. We are going to stop the recording and answer any questions that you may have.